Hey everybody, I'm Sean. This is Autoanatomy. Today we're back working on the Porsche. We're going to rebuild the front suspension and hopefully get that exhaust a little quieter again. Let's get started. Back when we first got the Porsche up and running, the exhaust was pretty loud and there was a rattle right in the center of the car. Now a couple of videos back, we cut the center section apart and somebody had hollowed out the catalytic converter in there already, and the little semi-muffler that's after it probably wasn't doing a whole lot, but I took out a couple of the bits that were rattling around in there and put it back in and thought I'd fixed it, but it just started rattling again, and I'm kind of over it. Between the really tinny noise that it makes and the smell of unburned hydrocarbons, I'm just kind of, I guess I'm getting old now. I just don't want to listen to that or have it smell really bad. So I picked this up. It's just a generic aftermarket catalytic converter from Amazon. It's like a 2.5 inch, let's see if I can do this, 2.5 inch in and out little bullet catalytic converter. And it's a high flow unit, which they say, I don't know if you can see through there, flows just about as well as having no pipe in there. It'll tone down some of the sound just a little bit, as well as stop making it smell like unburned hydrocarbons. So, and if you notice, the 52's back in there, but you can't see that yet. So, which means something is out in the driveway. But anyway, let's get started on cutting the old exhaust off, putting the new catalytic converter in place, and seeing if we can get this thing to sound a little better. Okay, so here's a better look at what's under the car. So we've got the downpipe coming up here, and I think that this section here was the catalytic converter with like a resonator or something like this, and this is the wastegate pipe basically coming from the turbo. So what I'm going to do is hack this off here, put in that little bullet catalytic converter here, and then try and put this back into a 2.5 inch straight section to reconnect back here with the factory pipe. And what that'll do is, if it's still too loud or has a bad, resonance or something like that, I can always put in a little bottle resonator right here. So let's get this apart. I think I'll probably just cut it here and then unbolt it here, so that way I can work on it on the bench. Okay, got the downpipe converter assembly off and went ahead and cut it into all the pieces that I need here. So I think what I'm going to try and do is take our new converter and put it on there, and then take a piece of exhaust tubing and connect it between the new converter and the flange for the back, and then wherever this little wastegate blow-off pipe ends up, I'll just drill a hole there, weld that in place. And then I'm hopeful that if it's still a little too loud or raspy, the distance between this pipe and the end of the flange there will be enough that I could put like a little bullet muffler or something in there. So let's go ahead and get this installed, and then I have to kind of put everything in place and mock it up, and then it's going to be on and off with the downpipe an awful lot to get this right, but I think this is going to help a ton. And just so you can see, this has been completely hollowed out. I mean, there is nothing in there at all. It's just like a straight through pipe. Okay, I've got the downpipe just kind of bolted in place. You can see here's the converter and how it's going to fit. So what I'll do is, this is the factory bracket, like a hanger, so I can tack weld that on there. And then if we come back to the back, I've got the flange there, and I've got roughly, I don't know, maybe 2 feet of pipe that I can put in place, and I think that'll be perfect in case I want to do a muffler there. So let me get this welded in place, and then tacked on the bracket here. Measure the length between the end of the converter here and the flange, get that cut, and then we can figure out where this pipe needs to be. All right, so we got it all back together. Let's see how it sounds. And the result is it sounds exactly the same. Oh well. Just because I'm kind of a nerd like this, when I repainted the timing cover, I went and got the factory decal to put back on it. So let's get that installed. See if I can do this one-handed. There we go. Good as new. Today we're back working on the Porsche. We've got this huge box of parts from Pelican Parts, and we're going to rebuild the whole front suspension. So we've got brand new bump stops. We've got, let's see what else is in here. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. Looks like a control arm bushing. That's the back control arm. Another front control arm bushing. Got, that's another back bushing, ball joints. So we're going to do the whole front suspension, plus I've got some new shocks, and we're going to get this thing driving like brand new again. Let's get started. Okay, I'm not sure if you're really going to be able to see this too well, but this back control arm bushing, you can see it's just split right there. And then coming around to the front, like the tie rod boot here is just falling apart. And actually the inner control arm, the front one doesn't look that bad, but I'm going to go ahead and replace all of it anyway. I've got new ball joints, I've got pretty much new everything. We're going to rebuild, paint, and to get the front suspension just back up and sparkling again with new struts. So let's get this thing disassembled. Okay, let's see what's in here. Oh, look at that. It's water, actually. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Like all of the oil has just come right out of it. And the paint on the shock is just falling off. All right, one side down. Let's get to the other side. Okay, got our housing all cleaned up, new struts installed. This is tight, so all we need to do next is just drop a little cover over it, and I've got brand new bump stop here to put on. And that'll slide over like that, and then spring, top plate, and put it all back together. Okay, got the new bushing pressed in on the control arm. Now, just got to get the ball joint in place. All right, so we've got the car all back together. Let's go take it out and see how it handles. Well, I can already tell you it's different because before, when you cut the wheel, it would make this groaning noise from the right front, and that shock was just toast. So it's already better even if we don't do anything else. Yeah, let's see if I can hit a couple of bumps and see if this helps. Okay, so much smoother already. It's definitely more responsive. And you know, truthfully, the bushings weren't that bad in the front end, surprisingly. They looked worse on the outside than I actually expected. So when I got them apart, the integrity was actually pretty solid. But you know, if you're going that far into to replacing parts, just do it all and replace all the bushings, replace the shocks, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna go take this thing out and go put it through its paces a little bit. Already I can see we need to do a front end alignment on it because the steering wheel's turned a bit, and I kind of expected that. When you take the struts off of one of these things, the top bolt is an eccentric, and that's how you adjust your camber. So I may just set it roughly and then go take it to an alignment shot to get actually done. But that's going to wrap up this episode of AutoAnatomy. Thank you so much for watching. Listen, if you like what you see here, click on that subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when any new videos come out, and like, share with your friends. We've got some big projects and some big changes coming to the channel here in the next couple of weeks. I promise you're going to see some more Mustang content soon, like next week. And then we're going to try and do some different things with videos. Interviews with some of your favorite YouTubers, and just maybe some collaboration with some other channels. So thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care of each other.